Good afternoon. I'm Connie Boyer, Mayor of Fairfield, and today is August 29th, 2025. I always like to give that reference point so if people aren't seeing this for a month or two, they know what day it's recorded on.
Yep.
And today my guest is Mandy Ford, and she's been a resident of Fairfield for 10 years. She is an Iowa girl, though, as I believe.
Yep.
And today we're going to talk about the Main Street program, and we're going to talk about the last year and a half, 2 years, where we started here, where we're at right now, and where we're going. So let's talk about a year and a half ago, approximately. We were applying for a Main Street program, and we were pushed for time.
Yep.
And the Main Street program, you apply through the state.
Yep.
And last year I did not go up to the
Presentation.
The presentation. You have to give an oral presentation basically, and there were like, what, 15 people in the room, I think?
Oh yeah, it was quite
lot
a few.
of people.
Yep.
And,
yes.
And so last year we were not successful. One of the things that they said, we weren't quite ready, and it really was true. One of the things that we really worked on this last year was getting broader support in the community, educating people what Main Street really is. And for me, even this year, one of the things that was really important was that the gal at the state level, who's kind of at the top of the heap there, talked about, our downtowns 100 years ago or more were shopkeepers on the bottom, and they lived on top of those buildings. And, every day they'd go down to open their shop and, do trade with the community.
Yep.
And so, but that's not what happens today, generally.
Yeah, no, it's just like every small town and most towns throughout America. We started out, Fairfield was founded, the original plot of the city is the park in the center and the 2 blocks completely surrounded. And most of it was commercial with the residents living upstairs. And as times changed, as the economy shifted, things moved away from the downtown. And so we see these vacant buildings or underutilized buildings or storage upstairs or just a number of issues. And so there's a lot of buildings that just need some help. And that's part of what Main Street does.
Yeah.
Main Street, I always like to look at it as it's economic development within the context of historic preservation. And so we look at changing the economic outlook in that downtown area with a slightly different lens than what most people look at. It isn't just about the jobs, it isn't just about new businesses, but it's about preserving the character of the downtown and kind of telling those stories about where we came from and where we're going to go.
Yeah. So that kind of lays some groundwork, but also I want you to explain really the piece that you had this last year, because you have the background in historic preservation.
Yep.
So you want to explain that a little bit, and then how
Sure.
it translated to how you helped this last year.
Yep, so I have a Bachelor of Science from Southeast Missouri State down in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. It's one of the few undergraduate programs for historic preservation. And I spent a number of years in St. Louis doing historic tax credit applications, doing National Register nominations. So I have spent countless hours of research in old city halls, in libraries, going through microfilm, looking through Sanborn fire insurance maps and digging those little pieces of history out that, we don't know. Who built the building? Who was the architect? What was it used for? Which businesses were there? And so those pieces all tell the story of those buildings and why they're significant and important. And so we've been also working with the state, updating and getting information on what they call the state inventory forms. So historic buildings, they'll come in and kind of do a basic inventory of what the basics about that building, when it was built, et cetera, and then the condition and whether it's eligible for the National Register. And so part of that process then, in not just getting the Main Street, but also looking at trying to do a historic district in the downtown. So we do have a very historic downtown. We have a lot of connections with Senator Wilson, with William Loudon, but there's this vast number of people with innovative and creative ideas that have always been there from the very beginning of Fairfield. And so it's neat to sort of go down a rabbit hole of research on what the different things are. But that is part of it. Getting a historic district listed then opens up economic opportunities for historic tax credits for those business owners to really incentivize people to do historic preservation correctly, maybe be more sensitive to the historic fabric of the building when they're doing rehabs, maybe reworking your windows instead of replacing them, or taking historic storefronts that maybe had some modern updates to them that are not so positive, and kind of going back to or referencing at least the the recessed entryways and things like that. So it really it opens that up for those opportunities.
Yeah. So a lot more grants and tax credits available, not only for historic district, but also Bingham Main Street. And those will probably kind of overlap. They're separate from one standpoint, but as we move forward, we want to get both of those in place to really help our building owners. And we did a facade project a few years ago. It's not been quite 10 years, but and some of those what were modern facades,
the slip covers,
kind of a few of them got taken off back to the original building, and it's lovely to see. So hopefully we'll be able to do maybe a little bit more of that. So again, that lays some groundwork. This year, again, we went up to the state and they accepted our application. We were the 54th Main Street in Iowa, and actually, Mandy saved the day. So there is, you have to present between about 15 people, and you're all a little nervous and all that kind of thing. And one of the ladies is especially interested in historic preservation, and she asked a question, and I was like trying to come up with something, and I said, "Mandy, take it away." Mandy saved the day because she understood it much more completely than I did, and how those connections were made. So I see from a city standpoint that we'll be working together maybe on potential ordinances. We do have a preservation committee, but hopefully they'll be a little bit more lively and active. And maybe some more ordinance comes down the pike. But anyway, that's all to come. So currently, I just thought I'd share who the current board members are, and they have just formed. So Denise Hall is the new president of the Main Street Fairfield. Scott Brown from Beaner Funeral Home is vice president. Ron Haynes, Midwest One, is treasurer. Tyler Malone, owner of Iowa Dance Collective. I should have said Denise Hall from Fairfield Dental Clinic, and she's been very involved with the chamber. And a couple years ago, she had seen a video about Main Street and really carried the torch forward too. Okay, back onto the board members. Sean McCarty of State Farm, Alicia Hall, she's the design chair. She's from Bovard Studios and Wheaton Companies. Galen Satterley is the economic vitality chair. He's from the collective. And Josie Heilman, promotions chair. She works at Addington Place. And Christina Brandstetler, and she's from Cambridge. So that's the board members, and then we have ex officios. Amy Vetter, she works out at the hospital. Paul Gandy, he's our city representative and chair of economic development. Joe Ledger from the supervisors. Ed Malloy from Grow Fairfield. Terry Baker from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Zach Weigel from the schools, and Tom Brooks from MIU. So got a great group to start with. And like I say, they're just now getting organized. So what are the things are they working on right now?
So Main Street really takes what they call a four-prong approach. And that is economic vitality, design, promotions, and organization. So economic vitality means we are looking, it's kind of what Grow Fairfield does, only we're focused on this downtown core. Bringing in new businesses, supporting existing businesses, looking at housing options for the second floor, and utilizing state and federal tax credits, grant programs, etc. It's definitely a partnership between all of these groups to kind of make about a better downtown Fairfield. The design aspect is, again, looking at things from that preservation standpoint, but also creating more inclusive and people-friendly spaces, handicap accessibility, again, that historic design element to things. The promotion part is, I kind of look at that as that storytelling piece, doing events, doing things to complement, we are so fortunate in Fairfield to have great folks over at, Mandy McAdams at the Chamber of Commerce and Terry Baker over at Convention Visitors. These guys do phenomenal work and bring a number of different programs and a lot of visitors to Fairfield. And I think Main Street kind of works to partner with that, what they're doing, but then also again to bring that focus just into that downtown area. And so, it's also sort of that buy local support, again, looking at things to give people that opportunity to really see what's still in downtown. I think there's a lot of amazing things already going on, but we just gotta let people know about them.
Yeah.
And then the last part is the organization. And so Main Street is run by the board of directors. There's an executive director. And then the core piece of all of this is the volunteers. And in every one of those committees, we will need volunteers for working with the board members for the economic vitality, for those design guidelines, getting people to do historic research at the library, taking pictures of the historic buildings, working with the museum. Jake has been phenomenal in helping me dig through things and find historic pictures and stuff, so we knew what things looked like before. And some buildings you don't realize you're looking at the same building when you see these before pictures. There's a lot of opportunities for people to be involved. When we do events, we would need people to help with those things as well. So it's really a community-driven collaborative more than anything. It's just the Main Street gives us a framework. The Downtown Resource Center out of Des Moines is phenomenal. They have folks that will help us with the certified local government process, with the historic district process, with design guidelines, with creating some sketches about buildings to say, hey, what about considering this to, when you redo your building? So folks don't have to sort of start from scratch on that. They really do the facade grants, they do the community development block grants, the revitalization grants. I mean, there's so many different programs. And so Main Street kind of helps tie all these things together so that people know what's available, what they can use, and then get the right people in the right places to make that happen.
Yeah. And I know soon, I'm not sure exactly when, there'll be some type of survey for the community of, like what types of businesses that you would like to see in our downtown.
What are we missing? What do we need?
Yeah, that we don't have.
Yep.
So I think once we do that, that'll be really interesting. Excuse me. And the other thing that's happening right now is they're certainly, they're taking applications for a new director. And they have, again, in this last year, they've taken pledges to make sure that they are financially secure.
Yep. So 501c3. It's a 501c3, so it's a not-for-profit. It's not funded by the city or the state. It's purely funded by those volunteers
and every dollar is going to go to pay for the events and our director, and they are going to be housed with the chamber to begin with, because the Mandy support person can also help Main Street, so that'll help a lot get things off the ground.
Get things rolling, get things moving.
Yeah. So right now we're kind of in this, I shouldn't say we, but the board is in this, organizing portion right now, so they're kind of working behind the scenes, not so much public right now, but that will come.
There'll be a visit in mid to late September from the Downtown Resource folks about Main Street, kind of do a walkthrough of the district. We're kind of finalizing the boundaries of the district. We extend from the Carnegie Museum all the way to the courthouse, and then it kind of extends on either side depending on where those lines are drawn. So once we get those finalized, we can let people know where those pieces are. But it's a pretty nice walkable area and really a good example of the historic Fairfield.
So what have we not talked about that you have on your list? Anything?
No, I think we got. I think we got it. I think we're good.
So again, today we were just wanting to lay some groundwork and kind of let you know where things are standing. And again, it's kind of quiet right now, if you will, because we're organizing and hiring a director. And so this next year in 2027, it'll be probably, I'm sure, much more public, and we look forward to
2026.
What did I just say?
2027.
Yeah.
Actually, next year is the 40th anniversary
right.
of Main Street, Iowa, and stuff, and so that'll be a cool thing that we get to sort of cycle into that big celebration of that. So.
Awesome. Well, and next year is the 250th of the U.S.
Semi-quasi-centennial.
So I'm already planning a week-long celebration in downtown for the city, and it's amazing. I've just put a bug in a few people's ear, and boy, the ideas are coming. And it's going to be fun next July 4th and next summer.
We're looking forward to it.
We're going to have some really great entertainment and things going on in our community. So,
good.
and this will be a new thing, and
Yeah.
and hopefully, you never know. Hopefully, we'll have even some more stores or restaurants or whatever in downtown.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
but we certainly look forward to helping our building owners and our merchants, et cetera, helping them understand how they can utilize these grant opportunities once things really get organized. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Thanks
All
for
right.
coming today.
Yeah, no, happy to
and if people have any questions, you can certainly reach out to Mandy or myself. And but there'll be a lot to learn
Yeah.
going forward.
Yep. We're excited.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.